Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by to check out the latest from Sailing Emerald Steel. In this video we're going to be sharing with you an interesting anchoring occurrence that we observed the other day. And before we get started, we'd once again like to thank all of you that took the time to leave a comment and a thumb up on our last video.
Those of you who follow our channel knows that we have several videos on anchoring, but after all these years we actually learned something new. Now, as I said in the anchoring videos before, one of the things we always make sure we are never anchored behind a large powerboat, or in that case any kind of large boat, because if a boat drags on you, you are very much limited what you can do, especially in a heavy blow, because if a small boat hits you, it's not such a big problem. But if a large boat hits you, it's a much more difficult to get loose, especially if their anchor get tangled up with your anchor. So now you are really having a problem. Once we were up on the Canada, a powerboat anchor in front of us had a professional captain in it, and I asked him, "Hey, are you sure you anchored good?" He said, "Yeah, I've done it many times." So fine. They went to the yacht club for a drink, and then naturally in the afternoon, just when people leave, the wind picked up. I mean, it wasn't blow very hard, maybe 20 knots, but his boat started dragging. His powerboat was about 65-footer, which for a powerboat is quite a bit larger than our boat. So as she was coming closer to us, too bad we don't have that part of the video, because we would have a lot of interesting videos if everything
we always had the camera on.
But as things goes, usually you stick your head out and it's right away emergency. It's the last thing you think about camera. So anyway, in this case I have to go on the end of a bowsprit and try to
fend it off. And,
actually, you know, I tried to push the boat away, but the boat was much heavier than ours, so I actually was able to manage to push my boat to the side.
Right.
And luckily his anchor didn't get stuck on mine. So by the time I did this, Susan was able to get a camera and start recording, but by then the boat was already past ours.
Look at this. This guy's dragging. He's just about to go into the marina. We had to push him off of our bow a second ago. Yep. Just about to hit. He's probably hitting the dock right now. Big yacht. Small anchor. Not enough chain.
And she was going straight for a yacht club dock. And
so what did you do? You jumped in the dinghy then, right?
Yeah, I jumped on the dinghy and went right away into a yacht club, which was not
the bar. You knew where to find them. They were in the bar.
And anyway, I went down there. Luckily, I recognized the people because, like I said, I talked to the captain and I told him, "Hey, your boat dragging. Pretty soon it's going to hit the marina." I just pushed her off me. They ran out of there, jumped on their inflatable, and just made enough to start the engines on their big boat. And
their boat was just touching the dock, I think. Yeah.
They just was lucky they didn't create a lot of damage to other yachts. So that kind of shows it to you that you always have to be on the lookout.
Like when people anchor their boat, a lot of times they'll anchor their boat and like 5 minutes later they're off. You know, they leave their boat, and it's good to at least try to set your anchor. Wait a little bit, make sure your anchor's holding before you just leave your boat.
Here we are at Glorieta Bay public dock. It's beautiful, nice sunny day, much warmer than we were up north. And here's the captain, and let's see what she's got to say.
Well, coming into the dock for our annual Coast Guard safety inspection, and we're in Glorieta Bay, and they just built a new public dock here. It's one of the few places where you can actually bring your boat in to the dock for a couple hours and get your inspection. Here are the new public docks. They just finished it. It used to be just a really rackety dock, and now they make it nice for maybe 10 dinghies. Have a launch for kayaks, and then you can bring your big boat, and here's the launch rod. Also has a nice park with a little beach, and there is anchorage
where we like to spend as much time as we can when we're not cruising. It's very small, but otherwise it's nice, right next to a golf course. And to the left over is a marina. And back there is the city of Coronado, which is nice, quiet, and small. Now, only problem with Anchorage is that it's not too many cruisers stop there, but usually are locals. And the locals, as a lot of you know, anchor very seldom, so they don't have much experiences, so you have a lot of dragging involved. But in this case, it was a very interesting situation. A smaller sailboat, maybe a 25-footer or so, anchored same day when we did. Following day, a large motor yacht, quite a bit larger than a sailboat, anchored in front of him, and he put out scope. Now, wind started blowing, again, not that much, maybe 15 knots.
In the afternoon, the wind
Enough for him to go on end of his chain to a point where he started actually hitting the sailboat. Now, that was not really that kind of big disaster, but what happened next was this here. The little sailboat was anchored only with a rope, and when a man in the powerboat saw that he hitting the sailboat, he went forward, started the engine, and put into forward gear. Now his propeller got tangled in the anchor line of the small sailboat, and as the line was getting shorter and shorter because it was wrapping around the propeller, he will start pulling the front of the boat under. Now, we luckily just ran and got a camera to be able to pick up that part of it. So anyway, people will start yelling, stop, stop, stop. Anyway,
he was pulling the boat under.
Yeah. So anyway, he stopped, and then they had a bigger dilemma what to do next. So they had to attach his small sailboat with a rope to a big boat. Now, big boat was disabled temporarily because he couldn't run his engines because the line was wrapped around the propeller. So owner of that large boat get his hookah and dive on it to go under and lose the lines and free his propeller. So that shows it to you in this kind of cases, at least what we do. When we see a big boat anchor in front of us, we try to tell them to move. Our anchor is right underneath you, and if we have to move in emergency, we will not be able to retrieve our anchor. If that doesn't work, then we have to move before something.
Yeah, sometimes we just move on our own.
Now there is something I suggest, it's a good idea to do. I believe very few people do it, but we do it. Because we anchor a lot, what we learned to do is this here. When we drop the anchor, we put our man overboard on the GPS. This way we have a mark exactly where we anchored, time, location. And then the next thing is we take a cell phone or video camera, wherever it's handy, and we take a short movie all around us. And the point of that is this thing here. If a big boat comes and anchor in front of you, and you should end up hitting each other's, and there is a large damage, it will be very hard for you to argue who was there first. So it's very important to establish your anchoring area, because as much as you think right now it's overkill, believe me, when the time comes, you will be very happy you've done it. Here I relate you a story, what happened right here at Anchorage in Glorieta Bay. A man was anchoring with his yacht, about 65-footer. It was actually pretty far away from us, so we were not that concerned, but in the middle of the night, the wind started blowing, piping 25, 30 knots, and right was blowing straight at us from his location. Now I was sleeping, and suddenly I hear a bump. I jump like I always do when something happened.
Like a rabbit.
I run outside, and what you believe or not, that big yacht, he was stuck on my bowsprit. Now, he was one of those yachts on the back, has a patio, has a gate, about 3 foot or so high. It's a solid fiberglass gate with a door in it. So anyway, my bowsprit went through his gate, made a hole, knocked his doors out, and went right inside to his patio. Now, naturally, as you know, when your boat gets stopped in the back of it, then your bow gets blown over. So now his bow got blown over to our port side, but because he had a big, about 16-foot whaler dinghy
Boston whaler, yeah,
in the back of his boat, he had
about a big long painter.
Yeah, about 20-25 foot of line on it. What happened is his big dinghy went to the starboard side of our boat, while his boat went to the port side. So now what happened is he got stuck on my boat because of his dinghy was on the other side of my boat, so I was holding him from going down the bay.
Yeah. His wife was frantic.
By that time he was already up, and his wife was up, and he started engine to take his anchor up and then move. While that was happening, my bowsprit totally torn up his back gate and part of his patio, because my bowsprit is stayed with a 1/2-inch steel cable, so it's not so easy for it to break. And so anyway, I did pretty much a damage to him. So I right away yelled at his wife, say, let the dinghy go, let the dinghy go. And she was so scared, she didn't know what, she just was frozen.
Right.
Till her husband, I said, hey, tell her to let the dinghy out. So anyway, he told her, lose the dinghy. So she untied the dinghy, let it go. I grabbed it with my hook, put behind my boat. He left his anchor and left the anchorage. He went to anchor outside the anchorage where there was much more room. Anyway, I got on the channel 16 and
hailed them and found them.
he said that, you know, I told him that I'll keep your dinghy till morning, then you can come and get it when you have the time. He was apologizing, then sorry that happened, but I told him nothing happened to my boat, sorry about your boat, your damage. Because to me, really nothing happened. He hit my bowsprit.
What's a couple scratches on emerald steel? You can fix that.
Yeah, we don't have much problem with that one. But afterwards I was thinking that, you know what, if this guy would decide that I hit him, or on any other occasion, it would be kind of hard to prove than who was there really first. So that kind of told me, you know what, I better take the position and take a small video, especially if you're going to be anchoring there overnight.
Actually, we've had occurrences where we were anchored and another boat anchored upwind of us. It was obvious that they were dragging down on us, and you know, they hit us, and then they accused us that we were the ones that hit that. So you have to be kind of careful with that. Okay guys, so I guess that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. And if you did, don't forget to leave a comment and a thumb up. We love hearing from all of you. And of course, as usual, we once again like to thank all of our new and old Patreons and people that support our channel through PayPal. We really appreciate your support, guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.